Alright, so what's up guys? Not much. Putting together vacuum lines. It's a lot. If you've never done a turbo car, you probably don't know where all the vacuum lines go. You probably just don't know. So I figured I'd just make a pretty good picture here just to show everybody how the vacuum lines run. Starting up here, you're going to have your intake manifold and your brake booster. You can run a vacuum box here and then run a vacuum line to your boost gauge, which that'll be in the car, your blow-off valve, and then your fuel pressure regulator. So these lines need to be over here. Some people say, well, I don't want to run a vacuum box. Hey, you don't have to. Then just drill and tap your intake manifold and just run each of these vacuum lines to the intake manifold. Then you don't have to run a vacuum box. That's up to you. I just was honestly lazy, didn't want to drill and tap my intake manifold, so I just got a vacuum box. That simple. Same thing over here. Now, boost controller. This is the 4-port. You might have a 3-port. I'm running a 4-port. So this is how I'm going to wire mine. If you wire the 3-port, it will need to be wired differently than this. So what I did was my turbo came drill and tap, so I just drilled and tap off my turbo. This goes into the inlet side on the boost controller. Now you have the bottom side. This is going to run, split, and go down to the bottom side of the wastegate. As you can see, this is the bottom side. And still over here, this goes to the top. Alright, so that's all you really have to run for vacuum lines for the whole entire turbo kit. Not that hard, but a lot of people don't know where they run, but this is just a good picture so you can see it, know how it's done. I guess I'll take you guys to the car when I go ahead and install this, but this is kind of just the basics. The only thing you got to worry about too is wiring up the boost controller. That's going to run in the car, but we'll go over that in a second. So as long as you guys take a screenshot of this picture, this is how your vacuum lines run, she'll be good to go. So alright, let's go ahead and drop this stuff on.
Alright guys, so I previously already showed you guys how to do it on the computer, but this is kind of just a good how I'm doing it. So as you can see, I got this line coming off my turbo. Well, actually that'll be a lot shorter. I haven't put that in the car yet, but we're going into this side of our boost solenoid, and then we have this line and this line. Well, I haven't run the lines yet, but these lines are going to go to these two T ports because I need the T ports to run basically the twin wastegates. The most important thing is with this right here, just to reiterate again, these lines need to be even. You need to make sure these lines are even and these lines are even. And same thing as these lines that go to there, those are even too. You want to make sure that basically when this thing pulls vacuum, it pulls it equally. The line that goes from here to your turbo, you just want that, I guess, as short as possible. As long as you don't run 30 feet of line to it, that's fine too. But the biggest thing on this side is when you're running twin wastegates, you want everything to be perfectly even and symmetrical. You don't want to run this line 20 feet and then run the top one 2 feet, or then run this line to 5 feet and then this line 2 feet, because that's going to start throwing off your wastegate stuff. You don't want to do that. So quick update real quick, but yeah, this is just showing you a picture of mine, so I guess we'll go ahead and drop this in the car.
Alright guys, so installing, I guess this is flex fuel. I'm probably going to be running E85 99% of the time. The only reason I brought this was just because for the 2% chance or the 1% chance that I need to put gas in my car, this is here to save me. I honestly don't need this, but for the cheaper price it is, why not have it? And so in case I get stuck somewhere, which I probably won't be, I can put gas in the car to get me home. But there's a solution for that. So only things you need for this is just the E85 sensor. You need two fittings to go on it, and I guess I just need this fitting right here just to connect to the fuel pressure regulator. You need to make sure this is in your return line too. Don't put it in the feed line or the line going to the fuel pressure regulator. You want it in the return line going back to the tank. So these are the pieces I got. We'll go ahead and throw these in, and let's go ahead and get them on in. Alright, so now we have it assembled. That was pretty easy. All I did was just put those two on and put that on too. This is going to go into the bottom of here, which our fuel is returning through. It doesn't matter which way the sensor is set up, it still works. So now we're just going to put this on there and then connect that back into the fitting that was on here. So now we have our E85 sensor in there, which pretty simple. Ooh, billet turbo wheel. Woo. Okay. Well, on to our boost solenoid. I'm pretty sure I've already showed you guys how to wire this up. I mean, how to plumb the lines per se. But as far as wiring it up, it's got 2 wires on the top. The polarity does not matter. As one wire is going to go to your ECU, and then the other wire is just going to go to a switch 12 volt. Pretty easy. Run those in the car to your ECU. 12 volt on the other one. Pretty much easy to do. Now down here to our ethanol content sensor. Yeah, got the plug down here. Working on this. So we got, obviously, black is ground. This is going to a switch 12 volt. And then this long one is going in the car to the ECU. So once we wire this up, I guess I'll plug this in and I'll show you how it works, because it's not that much, but just a couple wires and plug them up and it works. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this in the car and get everything hit up.
And okay, lastly, the hooking up part to the ECU. I guess you've already got your E85 sensor going in the car, and you already got your boost control sensor going in the car. You're gonna open up your good old K Manager, and then scroll over here to the boost controller, and you want to make sure that this box is checked. You want to enable the boost control, and this goes to the boost control line, goes to B21. I'm not going to show you that on the thing. Just Google K20 pin out on the ECU. Look for the connector that says B21. That's all you got to do. Cut the wire, put it in there. Pretty easy. But yeah, this is all you really want to do. Make sure this is in. Make sure you want to enable boost controller. That'll be your boost controller now if you put that on B21. Two, you can go through all the settings, figure that out. This will change depending on how you want to do it. Another thing, what I didn't go over, I have a high-low boost switch in my car. That's the toggle switch on the front on the dash. You can do this through multiple ones. You can either do, mine's actually hooked up through the E29 service connector switch. That's how I did mine, but you can still use any of these other switches on how you want to do it. So I just left mine on that. Same thing, when you run the E85 sensor in the car, you're going to go over here to flex fuel, click on that one, and then just make sure that the ethanol input is enabled. And then once again, you're going to have to go through all these and change all this stuff, but that'll differ from car to car. This is just as long as you check this box, it will read basically the ethanol content. That's what you're looking for. So that's kind of just to wrap this up. If you got any questions, leave them below in the comments. But other than that, that should show you how to hook up everything, how to, this is in the ECU, how to hook it up, how you want to set up your boost controller. I mean, obviously the rest of the stuff is going to change depending on how you want to do it. But the thing is, you need to have your boost controller on B21. Your E85 sensor needs to go into the E85 click on the ECU, because you should have the wires running off of that. That should show you that. And other than that, though, pretty simple. So yeah, got any questions? Let me know. Later, guys.